everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all staying safe and healthy out there. I know it's a hard time, but we're gonna get through this, and I'm gonna have fun playing with makeup, the things that make me happy. So in the video, I am going to be doing a full face of e.l.f. Now, I did not get a lip liner, an eyeliner, and a mascara, but everything else is a full face of e.l.f. If you guys don't know, e.l.f. stands for eyes, lip, and face, and I kind of think it's been a fun brand. It's super duper affordable. As we all know, up here on the screen, you're gonna see all the products that I'm gonna be trying out in today's video. Now, obviously, I'm not putting everything on my face, but these are the products that I'm working with that you can see here in this footage. And I have the foundation. I have the new Hydrating Concealer from e.l.f. that I'm super excited to try out. I also have the new Halo Glow Setting Powder, which I'm excited. And then obviously those little bite-sized eyeshadow palettes that everybody's been talking about the last couple months. I finally got my hands on them, and I'm gonna finally put them to the test and let you guys know if I think they're worth the $3, because you just never know. Now, in the video, there were actually a few items that I found that I absolutely love, like I love. And I feel like they're just as good as some of the high-end products that I use, and they've actually made their way to my everyday use. Like, I will be using them on a daily. You know how you have your little everyday stash? That is where they made it. So they were pretty bomb, bottom line. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the full face of e.l.f. and I will see you guys all in my final thoughts. Okay, so let's get into this full face of e.l.f., which I'm really excited about. Okay, so rolled up the sleeves. Now, I do have the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. I found that after I did the clip, so, you know. The other thing is, I cannot find the putty primer from e.l.f. Like, this stinks. This stinks. Why does it stink? I think I'm gonna take that off. It stinks. It might just be bad. Face is going through such a hard time right now, and I don't want to put it through any more misery. And when you have a product that stinks, it's a sign you need to take it off. You know what I mean? I have no idea where that Poreless Putty Primer is. I bought it. I have no idea where it's at. I cannot find it anywhere. Because this is a satin finish, so I have two shades. Like I said, these are summer shades. This is Toffee Medium with pink undertones. What the hell was I thinking buying that one? And then this one is Suede Medium Tan with golden undertones. Well, I guess I'm gonna be a little Oompa Loompa today because this is gonna be kind of dark. All right, so I'm gonna put it here on the back of my hand. And, oh yeah, it's golden. Ooh, I'm gonna be a little Oompa Loompa today. Now, I put 2 pumps because they were kind of tiny pumps on the back of my hand. It smells a little lavendery, maybe? I don't know. It smells good though. Like, it doesn't stink. But it's super thick. Like, she's a thick bitch. So keep that in mind. It's a very, very thick formula. So 2 pumps, I was able to work that in and spread it all over. Oh, don't you hate it when that happens? When you grab your hair with your brush and then it goes all over into your foundation. Now, as you've probably noticed in the last couple of videos, I've just been wearing my natural hair and straight and not, I did it again, and not wearing my extensions. It's been nice just to kind of just wear my natural hair and not have to worry about the extensions, and I'm not going to put them in. I haven't been putting them in, and it's just been, you know, easy hair days, you know what I mean? Like, I just put fake tan on like 2 days ago, so it's a good thing because this shade is orange. But once I got it like blended in, it looks pretty good. This is a super thick foundation, but even though it's very thick, it does look pretty natural. It kind of gives you like a light medium coverage kind of, maybe I should pull you guys in closer. That would probably be very courteous of me, right? I moved my monitor over there because I kept looking over there in that direction. I've noticed that when I take a break from filming and then I come back to filming, I look at my monitor more than I normally do, and I hate that. I don't like it when I'm constantly looking at the monitor. I mean, it's something that I need to do to make sure that I'm in focus and, you know, but as a viewer, it's also super annoying to have somebody looking in the monitor all the time. The worst thing I have to say, though, I have to say this bugs me. And I'm not going to say any names because that would just be mean. But I hate it when influencers primp in the monitor while the camera's going. Like, delete that footage. If you're primping and you're like doing this whole like, Don't just cut that part out. Like, it's so annoying. There's a lot of them out there that do it. A lot of the big like influencers that do it, and it really drives me crazy. Am I alone? Am I the only one that feels that way? It absolutely drives me crazy. I'm like, stop primping in the damn monitor. You look fine. You look the exact same way you did 2 seconds ago. It drives me nuts. I hope I got it blended in good, because the problem is when you have a really thick foundation, sometimes it's harder to blend into the skin than it would be if it was a thinner formula. But it looks pretty good over my texture, and it's just like a light, even something over the skin. It sets down. It's a thicker formula. It sets down, and it's definitely a satin finish. So I remember liking this foundation. I don't know that I love it, but I like it. I think it's a decent foundation. Let's move on to the concealer. So I bought 2 shades because you just never know. I got medium warm and medium beige. Medium warm looks pink. That looks very pink to me. Medium beige definitely looks more yellow. Problem is they're a little dark. So this is medium warm, which looks pink. This is medium beige. I might mix these two together, but that is very, very pink. Like, I would never call that shade a warm shade. I just feel like it's very pink on my skin tone. That's the one part about e.L.F. that is hard, is their shades are wonky. Am I the only one that has that experience with e.L.F.? Medium beige is going to be too dark, but I feel like medium warm will be too pink, so maybe mixing them together, I don't know. Like this much of each of them. That looks like a decent color. So now I am going to take my brush and just grab it from here. All right, I'm gonna take my sponge, kind of go over it and like push it into the skin. So I feel like this looks pretty good. The shade is a little bit too pink, obviously, but I needed that shade to lighten it up a little bit because the other shade was a little bit too dark. But as far as the actual concealer goes, it feels really lightweight underneath the eye. And at first glance, it looks pretty good. Now we'll see how it wears throughout the day. I feel like it looks pretty good, right? Like, it looks like it's blended. It looks hydrating, but it also sets down. So when it says it's a hydrating formula, it's not like the Tarte Creaseless or anything like that. So it's not like the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. You know, that one is extremely hydrating. This one is definitely not that way. So keep that in mind. This one, I feel like gives you that radiance to it. You can see it has a little bit of that radiance, but it does set down. And I would say it's a hydrating, like radiant satin finish is how I would describe it. Okay, let's move on to brows. So I got this one right here, and this one is in the shade Neutral Brown. I've never used a brow pencil from e.L.F. and it's really small. It's a small little tiny, which I like. That's a good color. So this is the Neutral Brown. Good color. Has a good spoolie on the end. I like to run a thinner brow gel through my brows first. This is the Brow Gal, I think. No, $1 Billion Brows, and it's the brow gel. And I got it in like a BoxyCharm, and so I've just been using it. But I run this through my brows first and kind of like set them up. And it's not a very stiff formula, so it's not like my Benefit 24-hour brow setter. Like this stuff, once you put it on it, they're like locked and loaded all day. This one still allows you to have some movement while you're fixing your brows. So for example, I used to go in with this one first, but once it dried, because you don't want to go in with product when it's wet, right? But once you go in when it's dry, sometimes the hairs get a little crispy and you can't run the spoolie through to kind of blend out the marks that you're making. You know how that is. You want it to look more natural. So you go in with the spoolie to kind of blend out the lines that you've created. I've actually enjoyed using this first, and because it's more of a lightweight brow setter, then going in with the pencil or whatever I'm using, and then using my brow setter from Benefit as the final step. My brow game changes weekly. So, you know, next week I might tell you something different. Who knows? I quite like it, to be honest. I do. I think this is a nice pencil. It's a soft formula. It makes nice hair strokes. So but it's a nice formula. I like this brow pencil. I'm really picky when it comes to products for my brows because my brows are my biggest pain in my ass. But this actually works pretty good, doesn't it? I don't mind this. And this is a good color for me. I like this pencil. I actually really like this pencil. Like this could be a pencil that I could use on a regular because it's a good pencil. We all have different face shapes. We all have different brow shapes and you know, we're all created differently. And people probably don't like my brows and I'm totally cool with that. Like I don't like them either. So join the crowd. Like, I don't care. You don't like them? Don't bother me none because I don't like them either. Okay, so I just have to say, I love this brow pencil. I just looked it up. It's $5. It's the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. And this pencil is actually going to go in my regular brow cabinet because it's really good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the cream contour palette. Okay, so those are the 4 shades in the palette, as you can see. I might mix between these two. We'll see. But it feels pretty creamy, so I'm excited. So I think I'm just gonna put my brush into both of these. That's kind of how I'm gonna mix it. And then I like to take my sponge that I used my foundation with and just kind of like blend it in. You guys, that works pretty good. I don't know why I did that. I'm so dumb. Hold on. I gotta kind of like calm down this. I did it again. Oh my gosh. I keep tapping off like I've got powder on my brush. I'm so dumb. Oh shoot. I'm so dumb. Seriously. Oh, Tara Lynn, you are quite the moron. Anyway, okay, so this actually works pretty dang good, you guys. I'm actually really impressed with this. I really am. This is a nice formula. This is a really nice formula, you guys. Really impressed with this. You know, contouring, sometimes I have the tendency to bring it out too far, and I try not to, but it's hard not to because I have such high cheekbones. But you can see that just kind of gave my face some structure. But let me say this. This is a nice formula, you guys. This really is. If you like cream contour, guys, this is fabulous. Another product that I'm going to be putting in my regular routine because this is a really nice creamy, but yet once you kind of blend it out, it kind of sets down. It's not super muddy. I like it a lot. A scale from 1 to 10, I'm giving it a 10. I think it's fabulous. I think it's a great product. It was affordable, so that's fabulous. You guys are gonna see me use that quite often because that is good. Okay, I'm excited. All right, I'm gonna move on to this and I'm gonna hope, I better check and make sure that this is still available. There's a shade warm and there's a shade golden and I have the shade golden. So this is what it looks like. All 4 of these shades are really pretty. You guys see how pretty that is? Like all the shades just look really pretty together and they've got a tiny bit of shimmer. So I think what I'll do is just kind of mix them together. And let's put them on the cheek as a bronzer and see what it looks like. Now it looks like this shade is the darker of the two, but this isn't that dark. So keep that in mind. If you're darker than I am, this one is not that dark. Gave the skin just a little bit of a shimmer, a little bit of a glow, as you can see. All right, now the next product is an actual jelly product. I was excited to try this. It's just like the highlighter that I was talking about in yesterday's video. So you can kind of see the jelly part of it. I might dip my brush down in there and then maybe tap off on the back of my hand and then go in. Like I might try that. So I just dip my brush down in there. I'm gonna go like this. Oh yeah, definitely tap your brush off, you guys, definitely. product is a little hard to work with. Be very, very, very careful with it. I don't know that I prefer it over some of my liquid blushes, to be honest with you. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like I have a little bit of this patchiness going on right here that I might fix with my bronzer brush. Just try to like blend it out. This side didn't do it as bad, but this side right here, I don't like that spot right there. So it's like, I got to try to like, you know, but maybe powder will kind of buff it out. I'm going to add my jelly highlighter in just a minute because I also have the highlighter, and then I also have like this type of a highlighter, but I am going to powder first. So I'm going to open up this powder. So I got in the shade medium, and it says sets makeup and creates a soft focused blurred finish. So that's what the packaging says. Okay, so I put some down here in the bottom of the lid. Okay. And I'm going to take my brush that I always use to put on my hourglass, and I'm going to tap it. Like, I like to kind of go down in and then like tap off. I don't feel like this is dry skin friendly. However, I do like how it does give a soft blurred effect to the skin. I'm gonna take a little bit of this and use it like I do my Charlotte Tilbury and just put it right here in this area. And that does a good job, doesn't it? Look at that blurred. But it is a nice product. I like it. And it doesn't feel like thick or heavy or anything. So I like it. I'm going to continue to kind of use that and see how that works. So let's move on to highlighter. So I'm going to put on this jelly highlighter first. I'm going to take a little bit here on the back of my finger. I like to put a little bit of it on and then have two clean fingers right behind it. So I use my ring finger for a reason. So I put a little bit on with my ring finger, and then I go in with a clean finger and blend it out. Okay. And then I go in with another clean finger and kind of do the finishing touch. So that to me gives me the best results that looks pretty natural and nice and blended. Okay, so I have two powdered highlighters. One is called Enchanted, and that one's kind of a golden highlighter. So it's not very pigmented, which is okay because I already got enough on my face. You know what I mean? I just want to go over it with something powdered. This one is in the shade Moonlight Pearls. Okay, there we go. So that one's more of like a icy pink. It'll match my skin a little bit better. Ooh, so pretty. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty soft highlighter. All right, so now let's move on to the eyes. So I do have their eyelid primer. Now I already put concealer down, as you guys saw, but I am gonna put a little bit of this down. I think I am going to go over that with some powder because you guys know that I don't like a tacky base. It's really hard for me to do my eyeshadow with a tacky base. Kind of reminds me of the Urban Decay eye potion or whatever that's called. So these are the bite-sized eyeshadows. I have the Berry Bad, okay, and I have the Pumpkin Pie, which is a really cute one, and then I have Cream and Sugar. Okay, now I also got this. This is, I think, one of their newer products. This is a liquid glitter eyeshadow in the shade Flirty Birdie. It acted like it was like sitting down inside of here, but it's not. Look how small this thing is. It's teeny and it's actually really cute. I like the size of it. But I thought it was going to be bigger because the package was so big. Ooh, I like this shade. It's like a really beautiful like rose gold glitter. Look how pretty that shade is. So pretty, right? Let me turn off the ring light. Look how pretty that shade is. It's like it is definitely like a really pretty rose gold. Oh, and it dries quite quickly, you guys. So that's good to know when I'm putting it on. So I think it might go best with this palette. I feel like, you know, because there is kind of a rose gold in this palette. So I'm going to use the Cream and Sugar palette. This one is not really going to give me a transition shade like this particular palette. So I might mix it with other palettes. Like I'm going to combine these two together. Like that makes a pretty palette, right? I'm going to grab the light cream shade and I'm going to kind of use that just to kind of like brighten everything up, especially on my brow bone and stuff, and keep it nice and bright on the inner corner as well. I'm gonna go into the Pumpkin Spice palette first, and I'm gonna grab this first shade right here. Now I know that lots of people have been raving about these palettes and really enjoying these. So I am excited to try them because these are something I've been wanting to pick up for a while and just kept kind of putting it off. And I finally did my order, well, it's probably been like 2 weeks ago now. Okay, so that's kind of a dark shade, but I have to kind of keep going in to build it, which is okay. I'm okay with that. Like I am. Like I know that these palettes are affordable and you learn to expect that they're not going to be like overly pigmented, but as long as you can build them and blend, that's all I care about. I don't really care about the initial pigment when you're spending, you know, what, $3 on these palettes? Come on. So as long as I can like build the color and also blend it out, and it doesn't give me any harsh lines and stuff like that, and you get pigment. You know, there's a lot, I have tried a lot of drugstore palettes where I absolutely get no pigment, and I'm sitting there just trying to pack it on and it won't go on my eye. We've all been there. So I am totally okay with having to build as long as I can build. You know, this is like the 4th time that I've went into it. I'm totally fine with that. I paid $3 for it. You know, it is what it is. So I'm going to grab that same shade and I'm going to put it here on my lower lash line and kind of smoke it out a little bit. Then I'm going to put a tiny bit of it right here on this outer corner, just to kind of have it as a base. I'm going to grab this really dark matte chocolate brown here in this palette. I'm going to switch to this brush and I'm just going to like start creating a line. So just know that it's a very light pigment, which again, I'm okay with. Beautiful blend though. My gosh, they blend really good. And they're pretty shadows. They really are. They're just not very pigmented. That's it. That's the only complaint I have, to be honest with you. For the lid, I think I'm going to put this on the inner corner, kind of brighten that up, this shade right here. And then I'll go in with this rose gold and kind of put it in the middle. Let's see what kind of pigment we get. Ooh, okay. So even though the mattes are not as pigmented, the shimmers are. Okay. Wow. It's like really reflecting off the light. It's a pretty shade though, right? I think I'm going to go into the one right next to it and maybe go over top of it and kind of calm it down a little bit because these are really strong shades. Yeah. Like maybe mixing those two together. That looks better. That looks a little bit less like, you know what I mean? And so I'm just going to place some like right here. Honestly, I don't know that you're going to see much of a difference because those shimmer shades are so blinding that you might not even see the difference on this glitter. It's pretty. If you like glitter, this isn't bad. This is pretty. Sometimes my eyelids will have a little bit of a sensitivity to wet products like the Stilas. I really like the Stilas, but when you first apply it, my eyelid will have a little bit of a sting. I don't know if you're that same way, but this one actually doesn't feel that way. So I only put on a thin layer, so I will definitely keep you guys posted to see if it starts to crumble. Of course, if you do too thick of a layer, it will start to get crumbly kind of on the eyelid and kind of break away throughout the day. So when you're using a product like this, be mindful to use a little bit of it and spread it out evenly. Let you guys know in the end of the video if that was the case with this one. I'm gonna take this brush, which is a flat tipped brush, and I'm gonna go into this really dark shade right here. I am going to smoke out my lower lash line. So I went ahead and threw on some lashes. I feel like the eyeshadow look did turn out pretty good. Let's move on to the lips. So I bought one of their newer lipsticks. One is called Seriously Satin. I got this in the shade Nectar. I don't think it's gonna match this eyeshadow look, but I wanted to try it anyway. So that's Nectar, just so you guys can see what it looks like swatched. Okay, so it's pigmented. First of all, great pigment, and it's $3. I actually really like that color. Doesn't go with this eyeshadow look, but I like the color. I think the color is really pretty for my skin tone. It's a very lightweight formula. I wouldn't say it's super creamy, but it is lightweight. Everything that they're claiming this is, it is. I actually really like this. This is their day to night formula. I have it in the shade Need It Nudes. These also retail for $5. The only thing that I don't like about this formula is it doesn't last very long. That's just been my experience. It doesn't last very long. So these two are the duo, the night and day, and this is in the Need It Nude. These two right here. Very pretty though, really pretty colors. The other one I have here is called a matte lip color. This one is in the shade Natural. This one I've had for a while. I didn't order this recently. It's the matte in the shade Natural. This one right here. And these have a sharpener on the end. The other one I have is Tea Rose. So this one is Tea Rose in this matte crayon. So I'll probably use the Night, the darker one of the two. Yeah, that matches good. These are really pretty, okay? These are really pretty lip crayons. So this is the final look. I loved how everything turned out. You know, there are some duds in here. Bottom line, there are. But a lot of them are really good. And in fact, I would say that the brow product and the cream contour palette are probably my favorite. Out of everything that I discovered today, these two are probably the ones that I'm gonna definitely put in my everyday makeup stash. You know what I mean? So that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. This was a super fun full face of e.l.f. and I'm gonna do more full faces of different brands. So I'm gonna do that in the upcoming weeks. But this was really fun and I found some really good products that I'm really excited about. But thank you all so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope that you guys all stay safe and healthy, and I love you all so much, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Love you. Bye.